Good morning, or whatever time it is for you, and welcome to my place, and most importantly, welcome to my study, which you can see in the background behind me right now. You've been asking me to bring you along for a work day, so that's what we will do today. Just walk you through what a normal work day looks like for me and what I've learned about my own working from home routine that really helps me with focus and honestly just staying dramatically productive year in and year out as a creative. There are some sort of mind tricks that I've picked up along the way because I've been a full-time self-employed creative for quite a goddamn while now, haven't I? And I realized that some ways to structure my days work so much better than others. So today I'll be sharing that work routine for a full day of novel writing, but honestly my influencer days look more or less the same in structure, and I think this could work for more or less whatever type of job or project or studies that you're working on at home. Today I'll be doing all this work on my new ASUS ZenBook A14, and ASUS is kind enough to be sponsoring the video today, but more about that later. I've said this before, I don't like to set an alarm. I like to wake up because my body is done sleeping. So my normal is to wake up around 7, falling asleep around 11 and waking up around 7. So 8 hours seems to be a good setup for me. But I've heard that most women need anywhere between 8 to 10 hours of sleep every night. Have you heard this too? So for me, 8 hours seems enough, but I'm wondering if there are any of you who like to go for a full 10-hour sleep session. I think we're sometimes made to feel lazy if we sleep more than 7 hours, like some kind of machines, but it's so individual. So we should sleep as much as we deserve to. At around 7:20, I've washed my face and got dressed and unrolled my yoga mat, so I'm ready for my 30-minute mat work session. 3 times a week I do this, first thing in the morning, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I don't like to go too hard. I like it to feel quite comfortable and nice, so I'm not the person to push myself during workouts. For me, the most important thing is not how hard or fast you can go, it's that I do it at all. And the more comfortable and nice I feel while working out, the more likely I am to roll out that yoga mat and go fetch those dumbbells. After that, I will have a shower and I'm so ready to take on my work day. When I'm working from home like this, it's incredibly important to me to wear something comfortable. I would never write a novel in jeans. I'm not masochistic that way. On the other hand, I'd never write a novel in my pajamas or old sweatpants either. To get myself in the right frame of mind, I need to be dressed ridiculously comfortable, but also professional enough. That means that my sort of work from home uniform consists of a pair of extremely loose trousers with elasticated waist, plus a menswear linen shirt, plus a cardigan if it's a bit chilly in the room, like it can be this time of year. Another great point about creating a uniform like this is that it means that I don't have to waste brain energy in the morning deciding what to wear. It's the same every day. One of my linen shirts plus one of my loose pair of trousers. Once getting dressed is taken care of, maybe the most important aspect of my entire writing routine, I go make my tea. No tea, no writing, that's the deal. But this is no news to anyone. My mighty tea drinking is more or less Instagram law at this point. 1.5 liters of sencha with a pinch of matcha, that's my tea of choice. And once that's brewed and lovely, I'm ready to sit down and start creating some text. So the very first thing I do when I sit down to write, or do any type of work really that demands a certain amount of focus, is to calibrate the perfect mood. I'm precious that way. I like working in a setting that makes me feel good and relaxed and a little bit luxurious. So lighting candles, making sure my notebook is perfectly aligned on the desk. Yes, I know this is highly silly, but it makes me feel nice. I'm definitely one of those people who like my desk to be flat lay perfect. But the most important thing for my focus and for the success of the working day is the playlist. Music is the #1 mood enhancer for me personally. So I need a sound in the room to fit the mood of what I want to create that day. Always instrumental, that's key. No lyrics to distract me. And when I'm doing influencer work or admin, I prefer calm instrumental jazz. But if I'm writing fiction, it has to be classical. Either classical or modern classical. And the exact mood depends on the scene I'm writing that day. I have many extremely intricate playlists for my current project based on mood, like sentimental music, dramatic, tragic, romantic, or mundane, depending on the scene that I'm writing. Again, this is over the top and highly indulgent, but I like it. it makes me happy. And also the mood of the song will sort of influence the atmosphere of the text so much, like much more than what you think. So music, no matter what type of work I'm doing, is always a serious matter to me. Once the music is decided upon, I go over my structure for the project. I'm a spreadsheet person. I do a lot of the work in a novel way before I sit down to write it, mulling it over in my head first. Then once I feel like I have a grasp of the character and the tone, I sit down with a ridiculously intricate scene list spreadsheet and practically plan the whole novel, scene by scene, chapter by chapter, before I start writing. This for me is so hugely helpful, but I know a lot of authors who would hate to structure a novel like this. So I think it's just one of those things, like very individual. So I've been hinting about this a little on here and on Instagram, but yes, I am right now working on my third novel. My second is out in late April, so it might sound strange to already be working on the third one, but if you consider that I started writing my second novel in autumn 2021, and it's out in April 2025, as you can tell, it's a long road from page 1, chapter 1 to being out in the bookshops. I'm hoping that my third will be published in 2027 or 2028 at the latest, so yes, I kind of need to hustle. But I couldn't do all of this work if it wasn't for my wonderful ongoing partnership with Asus. And I'm so happy to introduce you to something truly special, the Asus ZenBook A14. This laptop is a spectacular blend of ultra-light design, premium craftsmanship, and innovative AI technology, making it like the ideal companion for my daily life. Well, besides David, of course, who is also an ideal companion in daily life, I do have to say. So the ZenBook A14 is currently the lightest Copilot Plus PC in the world, weighing less than 1 kilogram, which means yes, I can bring this anywhere. And its entire exterior, from the lid, keyboard frame, and to its bottom case, is crafted from Ceraluminum, a material that's 10 times tougher than ceramic. You might remember that I went to London Design Week a few months ago, where I got to learn more about this anti-scratch, anti-wear, and smudge-free material that offers a luxurious, timeless look, while making this laptop 20% lighter than its predecessor. Perfect for my minimalist Scandi aesthetics, or what do you think? But let's talk about power. The ZenBook A14 features cutting-edge AI capabilities with a Snapdragon X series processor that enables seamless experience with AI features in Copilot, such as live captions, co-creator, and others, making it a dream for multitasking or staying productive during meetings. Whether I'm collaborating with other people or creating my own content, this laptop keeps up effortlessly. The battery life is another game changer. It has multi-day battery life that supports up to 32 hours of continuous video playback. 32 hours. And when it's time to recharge, the fast charging feature gets me back to 100% in almost no time at all without interruptions. And the Asus Lumina OLED display is absolutely stunning, with vibrant colors and high resolution, ensuring that every image looks lifelike and every detail pops. Whether I'm editing videos or photos or writing fiction or streaming TV, the visual experience is great and easy on the eyes. But let's not forget about security and connectivity. With Windows Hello facial recognition and Microsoft Pluton security, I can trust that my data stays safe. Plus, the ZenBook A14 comes packed with ports for all my devices, ensuring that I can stay connected wherever I am. This laptop is more than just a tool. It's a perfect everyday companion. So if you're searching for elegance, performance, and cutting-edge AI in one sleek package, the ZenBook A14 might be exactly the thing for you. Links are in the description, of course, and thank you once again to Asus for partnering with me. Now let's get back to the video. So after looking over the structure spreadsheet of the novel, which I create in Google Docs, by the way, to have it available on all my devices, I know sort of a job the scene I'm writing today has to do. Every scene usually have a couple of jobs, like progressing the plot, foreshadowing whatever crisis will happen later in the story, characterization, and motivating the different characters' behaviors. So it's quite a complicated juggling, this whole like writing a novel, but this is where I feel the structure spreadsheet helps me so much to know where I'm going and what the scene I'm writing has to accomplish. Planning beforehand like this basically means a whole lot less editing later on, and this, for me anyway, is true with any type of work. The more planning beforehand, the less revision and backtracking. So the very moment before I start writing, I like to read a few pages from one or two books that I feel inspire the current project that I'm working on. It's just to tell my brain, okay, we're working with text now, and to get sort of into the text part of the brain, and then finally I write. On a normal morning, I would say I write for about 4 hours or so, like from 9 to 1 when I break for lunch. Sometimes I need less than 4 hours to finish the scene that I'm working on, but I do like to finish the scene or the chapter before breaking. I never really stop writing until I'm at a natural stop in the text. On average, a morning writing session will give me like 2,000 words. That's a lot. Considering a normal 300-page book is about 75,000 words, 2,000 in a morning is quite a big number. But it's because I have let the story steep in my head for so long before I start writing. Usually for a year or more, I've just been thinking about the characters and the settings and the narrative. All feel like quite worked out through in my brain before I sit down to write. So I more or less never pause and wonder where to go next when I'm writing. At 9 a.m, I put my fingers on the keyboard, and usually they hardly leave the keyboard until the scene is finished. I don't have to like stop and wonder what will happen next, because the scene has already been living in my head for quite a while, forming and changing and swelling, so that really writing is usually quite a straightforward affair. Not straightforward, but I do produce text whenever I sit down. Of course, not all writing days are easy, and I often doubt whether what I'm writing is any good, but good or not, I do get words on paper, always. So far, I have never been blocked, so let me just knock on wood here real quickly to fend off any bad energy. But again, I just have to say, based on all the talks I've had about this with writer friends or influencer friends, this type of almost manic writing is not the common way to write. And honestly, I'm not even sure I'd recommend it, because it is rather intense for the brain. It works for me, but it's not just that it works, it's that I kind of love it. I love writing this way. It's such a delight and a luxury to allow myself to get this mad about something, to go so like full-heartedly into it and write a massive amount of text in a short amount of time. But of course, that means I need to give myself a break in between projects. I couldn't write like this, like at this speed too often. At about 1, I break for lunch, and by now I'm so hungry because I haven't had any real breakfast, just like snacking on fruit and nuts and, you know, stealing a few spoons of David's porridge. We like to watch some really silly reality TV while we eat. Nothing demanding, just to give like our brains a pause from focusing. Traitors, that's what we like to watch. After lunch, this time of year, when it's still quite dark early in the evenings, I go on a walk directly after lunch, an hour or an hour and a half by listening to music. It resets my brain and gives me energy, and this is also often when I think about the next scene I'll be writing the next day. Not thinking very consciously, just more letting my brain wander around in the scene and see what comes up. Usually I get snippets of dialogue this way, or I'm able to picture the setting quite nicely. In the afternoon though, I don't usually write. I can in a pinch, but my afternoon brain is not as clever and bright as my morning brain. Also, I've done this before, like pushing in 2 writing sessions in one day, 1 morning session and 1 afternoon session, and this is definitely not sustainable for the brain, at least not for me. Extremely tiring and precarious. Actually, writing is quite physically demanding because it requires a type of extreme focus. You know, I have a smartwatch that like measures my pulse, and when I'm writing, compared to the other work I do, you see my actual heart rate go up, I burn more calories, and I'm physically warmer. Like I wear much less clothes when I'm writing than the, you know, cardigans and blankets I need for more or less any other type of work. So I don't do afternoon writing anymore, instead I do admin. Emails, meetings, posting content, DMs, planning, and yes, many more spreadsheets. About 6 p.m. or so, I break for the day, and I try to get a couple of hours of reading in before dinner. If my brain is too like text fatigue, I can sometimes have like real trouble to focus on more text, and if so, I do something else. But if I can, reading for a couple of hours every day is like, this is the best thing for me mentally. It calms me right down, and it like washes away any hectic brain waves from the day. I do call this working though. I didn't used to, but now I do, because in my opinion, you learn how to be a writer by reading, and you learn how to be a better writer by reading better literature. So I read beautiful books, extremely high quality novels as a way to inspire my own projects, but also to keep like working my writing muscles. At this point, reading is not a hobby, it's my studies and my research. But of course, reading is not only good for writers. It's so beneficial for anyone, just like brain health and communication and to grow vocabulary. And I mean, just knowledge about the world. So I think getting an hour or two of reading in before dinner would be great for everyone, really. At about 8 p.m, I break for dinner and a film or some TV before falling asleep around 11. And that's it. That's my day in like the study when I'm working on a novel. And obviously I would be lying if saying that it wouldn't mean the absolute world to me if you wanted to pre-order my second novel, What a Time to Be Alive. Because pre-orders, they matter so much for us authors and for the success of the book. I will leave links in the description with worldwide free shipping if you did want to pre-order a copy. Because honestly, just because I will soon have 2 novels out, it really doesn't assure that my third novel, the one that I'm working on right now, will ever get published. So to all of you who have bought my first novel, OK Days, or pre-ordered my second, it will help show the publishers that they can like feel secure about publishing book 3 as well. So I owe you all hugely for supporting me and making sure that I get to keep publishing books, because if it wasn't clear after this video, let me just say, it's my dream life. I love it. Writing makes me happier than anything else. Well, excluding David, of course. And I just want to like keep doing it until my demise. Dozens of novels is what I'm aiming for. So thank you for always being so supportive and encouraging and, you know, making it possible for me to have a full-time career as a creative. You are spectacular. And also spectacular, Aces and my new Aces Zenbook A14. I leave links for that too, so go take a look, why don't you? But now it's time for me to go for a walk and have a think about how to make book 3 as good as I can possibly write it. Pray for me and for my overeager brain, will ya? And thanks for watching today. Very much hope to see you next week already. Okay, talk to you in the comments. Bye bye bye.